Hello everyone, welcome one and all to the display case, or I guess the display stream. I'm Nate, and today we're looking at the AMK Pro, not AMK Pro, AMK mini series from Yolopark. We've got a few of these here today. Welcome one, welcome all. I'm just gonna set all these up, I guess. We have AMK Mini Bumblebee, AMK Mini Ironhide, two versions of AMK Mini Orion Pax, two versions of AMK Mini Optimus Prime from the Bayverse, as well as AMK Mini Dark of the Moon Megatron, and AMK Mini Ratchet. I guess I'll put him up here. How does that look? Not too bad at all. I'm not even sure how long these will take, but this is essentially a new format for me, so forgive me, it's the first time I'm doing this. But essentially, we're going to be running through, building these guys one at a time. I'll keep an eye on the chat, and we can answer some questions and talk about Transformers and just have a great time. And I'll even change over the camera to me. Hello everyone. This is very new. I'll have a look at the chat. What we got? Hi. Hello all. Transformers more than meets the eye, and robots in disguise. I wonder how they came up with that tune. Ali3107, you can have a shout out. The new Power Glide does look really fun. I'm really excited to see more of that Power Glide. Hold on, let me improve my lighting a bit there. How's that? I do agree. The new Power Glide looks to be an amazing time. I'm wondering whether it's going to get a retro release as well. I wouldn't automatically assume so, but for the mini-bots, they have been pretty consistent in coming out with those retro releases. Even for Sea Spray, he came out with a retro release before he even got a mainline release, and now people are just getting the retro release and putting Toy Hacks labels on it for the eyes and whatnot that make him into a regular release. So I think, yeah, it'll be a good time overall. 86 Astro Train is definitely very unfortunate. I'm not... I've seen all of the discourse online, and I do agree. I've actually got... where is he? He's here somewhere. I've got Dramatic Capture Astro Train just lying around here because I was so sad about Studio Series Astro Train. I pulled this guy off the shelf, and I've just been having him on my desk for the last few days. But without further ado, let's go back to the review stand, desk, bench, and open up these AMK minis one at a time. Start building. So feel free to check the comment section. I will be having a look every now and again and answering questions. But let's start off with AMK Mini G1 style Ratchet. Now I really do like these boxes overall. I know that Yolopark originally were doing sort of a blind box situation where they didn't actually have the characters on the front of the box, I guess. But I do appreciate now that they're starting to do that, because I know that every time I saw one of these in store, because we do have them in store here, I wouldn't be buying them because I don't know which one I would be getting. And a lot of the time you go into the shop and the tops are ripped open and you can tell someone's just looked in there to check which character it is. And if it's like Megatron, who was very common, I guess, I've seen a lot of ripped open Megatrons. They've just left it, which is really unfortunate for other people looking. So this new format is really good. I really also like the reflectiveness of the box. that is definitely something that is quite nice. On the front, we have a photo of G1 Ratchet himself with that nice reflective finish. We've got AMK miniseries, Wave 3, 11 centimeters tall, Ratchet again, then a bunch of legalities down the bottom. Ages 8+, I think I exceed that by just a little bit, and then the Yolopark logo at the top. On the right side of the box, I know my lefts and rights, we have instructions, I guess. So it essentially tells you what pieces Ratchet comes with and how to put him together with another AMK miniseries Wave 3 logo down the bottom there. On the back, essentially all the legalities you could dream of in multiple different languages. So if you want to read through all that, be my guest. We also have a little QR code that says scan us to know more. So I'm not sure where that actually leads. I might actually scan that after this video and we'll have a look. On the left side, we have 2 more photos of the toy, Ratchet. And I am liking how the AMK miniseries is stacking up overall. I'm not the biggest fan of how they're all essentially the same size, but I do appreciate that they've made them so G1 accurate for the most part. On the top, we just have the G1 Transformers logo. And something really cool is that this actually changes. Let me grab another one. This actually changes for the other figures as well. So if you grab, say, Dark the Moon Optimus Prime, you see the Dark the Moon logo up the top there as well, which I really appreciate. It's a little bit of a nice little touch from Yolopark. So, if we open this guy up, let's have a look. Nice unboxing here. So, like a lot of blind box style figures, they come with a card. And this one is quite nice. It's made of the same sort of cardboard as the box. It does have a slight air bubble there, which is kind of making me think that it might be a sticker. No, that just ripped. That's amazing. All right, yeah, cool. So it's not a sticker, confirmed. I've just ruined my card. On the front, it has the G1 figure. It is Ratchet, 11 centimeters. Pretty much all the same info as the front of the box. And then on the back, it's got another QR code. I'm assuming this takes us to either the plain Yolopark website or the actual product page for Ratchet. I'm assuming. If someone wants to scan that and follow it wherever it leads, let me know. So taking Ratchet out of the box, get rid of that. We have some instructions as well, by the looks of things, a warranty card. I'm just going to toss all these on the floor because I don't really have the desk space to put these things down. Pretty self-explanatory. And then a whole bunch of selling items, I guess. Flexible head rotation. 360-degree flexible rotation. The waist can turn 35 degrees to the left and right. Okay, so that's just pretty simple stuff. Now, he does come in this foil-ish bag that folds out, and you can just tear the top off here. Let's empty all Ratchet's pieces. I think that's everything. And get building. Let's have a look at the comments. How excited for that Kranix are you? Ooh, I want him now and other Lithonians. Atlas Prime, the TF nerd. Yeah, I'm really excited for Kranix. It's one of those characters that I don't think anyone really expected to be made. He is essentially just there to be exposition and killed in the movie by the Quintessons, but I do agree it is nice now that we're in, I guess, the late stage of the studio series, and by that I mean the characters that are coming out. Like they've started, you know, not scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they have done most of the characters in one way or another. We've already got, you know, Optimus Prime and Megatron, and I'm actually not sure whether that's supposed to go that way or that way. I'm assuming this way. Yeah, there we go. We've got Optimus Prime and Megatron. We've got... see, now I have to have a look at the instructions, because I'm not sure which way these things are supposed to go. I'm assuming this silver line goes on his back, but I tossed this instruction piece halfway across the room. Nope, the silver line goes on his front. My apologies. What was I saying? Yes, so now that they're starting to do Kranix and the other Lithonians that were killed at the start of the movie, I do think that it opens up a lot more opportunity for the rest of the characters that may or may not have appeared in the movie. They might end up going with, you know, his characters that weren't in the movie but were in the movie adaptation in the comics, if you know what I mean. So all the Combiners actually appeared in the comic adaptation of the movie, and it's revealed that the reason the Combiners didn't appear at Autobot City, it's like, where were they? They were actually defending the Ark. So all of the Decepticon Combiners and all of the Autobot Combiners were just having a big brawl at the Ark because all of the Autobot Combiners were defending it, essentially. But yeah, it'd be great to see the other Lithonians. I'm actually trying to figure out how, unless I've got it wrong and that's supposed to go or not. Maybe I'm just not pushing hard enough on these legs. Or maybe I've just got it wrong. Who knows? It looks like these legs go either way. They're not really keyed to left and right until you put this top bit on. So I'm hoping maybe the other one will give me more luck. There we go. Alright. So it is just me, maybe. Ah, so they're drop down hips. I love that. Okay, so I need to drop it down a little bit. And then try and plug him in. Still doesn't want to go in. I'm putting so much force on that. If a little kid bought this, I'm not even sure they would be even able to put it together. Or is it like snapped? Oh man. What is happening? Okay, we'll come back to that. I'm going to put his shoulders on now. One, see, it's much easier. Two, the hip area is backwards. Oh, it is! Thank you for telling me. I can just rotate that around, that is great. A great time is being had. Did we get Ratchet's crest anywhere? Oh, there it is in the back. Okay. I missed the QR codes that were on the legacy boxes. They were pretty cool, showing off all the character details. I do agree. I think that those legacy boxes were really cool in that they gave you a bit more context on who the characters were. These days you don't get a lot of that outside of the studio series, which give you a very basic rundown of the characters themselves. But I'm sort of waiting for Hasbro to start putting that info on the regular mainline boxes. Like, On Age of the Primes, I feel like it was very, very much necessary. Unfortunately, a lot of people just aren't that familiar with 13 primes or the 12 primes, and I feel like it would have helped if I was a kid. I know that I would have definitely appreciated a little bit of even like a little knowledge card, little tech spec on who those characters are. I'm just gonna put his hands in, because this leg just does not want to go in, and it's very sad. I am not sure at all why. I feel like if I push any harder on it, it's going to break. But it just doesn't want to go in. That is amazing. John _ XT says hi. Hello, John. How are we all today? We are just building AMKs. I'm going to try one more time. And then if it doesn't... Ooh, did it go in? No. Because this is starting to hurt my finger now. Come on. What if I try and put the hip piece on by itself? It's not keyed to left and right, is it? Oh, no. It's just not going in at all. I'm not sure whether it's because of a manufacturing thing or if it's... Come on. I don't think that's going on there at all. Unfortunately. I've pushed and pushed. Oh, it actually looks like there's a bit of a molding problem in there. That piece just doesn't want to go on. That's really unfortunate. Wonder if that looks the same on the other one. Getting some Transformers 4 flashbacks with Ratchet having one leg. Oh, imagine if this wave came with a lockdown as well. I know lockdown wasn't in G1, but a G1 styled lockdown. How awesome would that be? Maybe we will skip over Ratchet because of this leg situation and go and visit Ironhide to see if he has the same issue. Because if that's not working, there might not be much we can do about it at all. Oh, actually, you know what? I can grab... Might have to hair dry the ball socket. I know, it might be a thing. I'm going to grab my little clipper that I use to do my unboxings and see if I can dig out some of that plastic in there. Because I should have checked this other one before I put that in. I'm almost certain that it didn't have that little bit of plastic, but see, now it's on there, I'm too scared to remove it. Because I don't think it is... If I pull it down so we can have a look in there as we try and pop it on. I think something is physically stopping it from going all the way in. That's okay. We'll take Ratchet and we'll skip on over to Ironhide. Because then we will know exactly who has what issue. Oh dear, I've knocked over some of my lights. Alright. Cool. lack of Decepticons in this wave stinks. I was expecting Shockwave to pair with my Soundwave. AMK Mini Shockwave would have been awesome. I do agree. I was just talking with Justin before about how there's no Decepticons in this wave. Yes, it is frustrating. I feel like we're sorely missing some G1 Decepticons in general in the AMK Mini line. So on Ironhide's box, it's essentially the same thing as Ratchet. We have Ironhide on the front, Ironhide's skeleton on the right, Legals on the back, 2 photos of Ironhide on the left. Actually, that's a really good... I don't think Ratchet comes with a gun or a weapon in any way. Like, oh gosh, he's gone flying. You can see that Ironhide comes with a weapon, whereas Ratchet does not. I guess we will see when we take him apart, take him out of the bag, not take him apart. Okay, I am crossing my fingers. Intensely crossing my fingers. Hoping that this Ironhide's legs doesn't have the same issue. But we will see. Hip to crotch area, I guess. Alright. Yes, no. Not on that one at least. See, that just went on so easily. Oh no. Come on. Yeah, so it looks like there was a little bit of extra plastic on... I can't even get that thing out. Hold on. There we go. Looks like there was a little bit of extra plastic on Ratchet's hip socket. And because of that, it wasn't going in properly. Or... oh, you know what? Maybe Ironhide's not going in as well as I would like either. Oh no, no, it went in. Okay, yeah, so it's just my Ratchet. That sucks. Oh man. Okay. Let's have a look. Got him sideways. There we go. Put his torso on. Put his feet on. 1 and 2. I do appreciate the model kits, genuinely. It's one of those things where sometimes, like a lot of the G1 designs, you just can't make into action figures very easily, or at least transforming action figures. Ones that are cheap anyway. I know that there are very expensive third-party figures out there that feature very accurate cartoony Transformers looking like they did in G1, but they're never cheap. And I feel like having model kits is a nice little way, at least in a shortened scale, to have that option available. Although it would always be nice to have those figures, I just think it's something that we're probably gonna... like, the Studio Series Ironhide is probably as close as we're gonna get to a cartoon accurate Ironhide for a very long time. First impressions of this guy, though, are actually really good. Forgive the terrible posing. I only just put him together. He feels good in hand. All of his joints are really tight. His paint-ups are very clean. You can see he's got the Autobot logo underneath his chest, the silver headlights, the nice blue window, and then everything else is pretty much just, well, plastic. He's also got a white face. I'm not sure whether that is It is painted, and he's got the bright blue eyes, which is very cool. Yeah, I do like him. I might actually have to go back to Ratchet and see if I can hairdry the ball socket. I probably won't do it in this live stream because you'll just hear random hair drying noises in the background. Or I might get a hobby knife and try to hollow out that leg. Worst case scenario, I can get a Dremel and do the same thing and just get rid of the plastic. This Ironhide is really fun. I like him. Let's have a look at what are you guys saying. You think you'll ever do anything with blockies? I hope so. That would be really nice. I think while I'm not the biggest fan of their tiny little blind box figures, those figures are definitely have got their fans, but for me, I prefer them without the type of stylization that they have. They're very chibi, and I'm not the biggest fan of those, but I absolutely adore their action model kits and their it's Action Edition and the other one, the smaller versions. Those look really cool, and for example, I got with the new Studio Series Transformers 1 figures and with the new Yolopark Transformers 1 figures, you can get the whichever edition is the nice small ones. You can get Starscream, Soundwave, and Shockwave and have them next to Yolopark, AMK Pro, and Megatron. And I think that actually looks really cool. I am loving this AMK Mini Ironhide by the second. He's also a good size. I wonder, hold on, I have Blue Streak here. I wonder whether they are similar sizes. Actually, Blue Streak is a little bit bigger than Ironhide, which is very weird, I think. It's an odd feeling to see Blue Streak being at least wider and a little bit taller than Ironhide. I think it would be great if Yolopark could add some variation in mold size amongst this line. But that being said, it might not satisfy the value that people are paying for them. So if you're a fan of having them just sit on your desk and look cool and look roughly the same size as each other, then I think you're in luck. Cool. All right. Now let's have a look at articulation for this guy. His head is, everything's on ball joints, which is really good, either a ball joint or a peg. So his head, he can look down nicely. He looks up pretty far. Obviously he can go side to side and he can rotate all the way around. His shoulders, again on ball joints, they rotate. I do wish they had some sort of butterfly joint in there. I think that's the only thing that these guys are missing. I really would have appreciated it, and it doesn't seem like it would have been a hard thing to implement given that there's so much like unused space here and it is just one big hunk of plastic for the chest. He does have bicep rotation as well as a bend in his elbow that goes above 90 degrees, as well as rotating hands because they just plug in using pegs. And there are a few of them actually. Speaking of the hands, there are sort of relaxed hands. Sorry, I just bumped the camera. And then a fist hand with a hole in it for holding his blaster. For his torso, he does have a ball joint at the top, which allows him to crunch and then go side to side, as well as a ball joint in the bottom going into his crotch hips area, which allows him to rotate with a little bit of flex all around. He also has, as we talked before, he's got drop down hips, which I love because then you can get him moving forwards that much. Backwards a little bit less, unfortunate. And then out to the side, just about 90 degrees. I love that. Anything with drop down hips has an automatic win in my book. He's got thigh rotation, nice knee bend that goes beyond 90 degrees, and a ball joint in his foot that allows him to rotate and go in all directions. That's incredible. I love that. See, this is sort of the first time that I've really delved into getting a whole line of AMK Pros. And if you want to pick this guy up as well, I do have a discount code for Yolopark in the description of this video. Put in display case into the, I guess, discount code bar when you check out, and you can get 5% off your purchase. I've also got a little affiliate link in there if you want to buy some Yoloparks from me, from this video. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna drop his leg down, then I might put him in a pose and then leave him in the background as we do the rest. Yeah. No, I'm not happy with that pose. Let's give him the old Han Solo. Yes, that's much better. Yes. Yes. All right. Let's have a look at the comments. Where are we at? Hey, Nate. Nice to see another Aussie fan. Like these little dudes. Super cheap, too. Yes, I agree. They are very, very nice and cheap. I do appreciate a good, cheap figure. And, hey, nice to see another Aussie fan. Absolutely. The more Aussie fans we can get, the better. And Skywarp and Nemesis Prime were secret rares and very hard to find. Yes, I did hear that. Justin and I went to ACGHK in Hong Kong last year. And they had them all there, and they were talking to us about the future waves and how they wanted to have each set would definitely get one secret, but you would get either one secret or the other. So it's a bit unfortunate that Skywarp and Nemesis Prime were two secrets in one set, and you had to like buy the set twice and just hope that you got them. Or at least that's how I understood it. I might be wrong. Only found the Skywarp. Yeah, it's really unfortunate because now you miss out on Nemesis Prime. You don't want to buy another whole set just to get the other one. They actually started releasing Skywarp and Nemesis. No, oh well, that's good. See, I should have read down in the comments. That's good that they've sort of gone away from the exclusivity of the blind boxes, and like here they've just put them. They've put the character on the box so that there's no confusion. I think that's really good. I think a big problem with Wave 1 was the tolerances. QC was really off. You either had a really impossibly tight joint or a joint that falls off every 3 seconds because of how loose it was. Ooh, yes, I do agree. I only got to fiddle with one of the Wave 1 bots, and that was Megatron. Or was it Starscream? I can't remember. But it was a bit unfortunate, yeah, that some of the joints were really tight and other joints were really loose. Like, for example, this Ratchet. I'm still trying to force that leg on there, and it really sucks that I can't just have this thing work. I'm trying to like dig out the plastic that seems to be stopping it from the ball joint from going in, but like you shouldn't have to do this. You know, it should just come ready to go, or at least in a model kit sense, you shouldn't have to do any editing to it to make it playable or assemblable. If you can't assemble it and it's a model kit, that's a huge issue. So let's try this Ratchet again. Wish me luck. No, I don't think that's going in. It's going in more than it was before, but definitely just the legs just coming off. That's a real shame. Okay. I didn't know that. Thank you. I can get Nemesis now. Yay! Classics class. Awesome. Consider getting Wave 1 and 2. I'd like them to update Wave 1 because the QC issues are atrocious. Joints are also extremely lacking. Yeah. A lot more articulation would go a long way, I think, as well as better QC across the board. But it does look like they are improving on it. I'm sure this Ratchet is probably an exception. So what are we thinking? Let's go with... Ooh, we've only got IDW and Bayverse to go. I am thinking... Nate, I'd like a dedicated video for your collection. You can actually see my collection. So this is my collection behind me. It is essentially mostly G1, except down the bottom there, we have Armada, and then we have the Primes, and then we have... the other side, oh my gosh, War for Cybertron and Beast Wars. I'm very proud of this collection. It's taken me a long time to get it to this point. And then down below, we have Cybertron and Transformers 1 and the Bumblebee movie. And then I've got another shelf here that I need lights for that have all the Bayverse figures in it, as well as all the AMK Pro figures that I have in my collection as well. But there is a video on my channel that is the top 5 of 2025 that has a couple of clips of all of this. So feel free to have a look at that if you want a bit more in-depth, I guess, a tour of the collection. Love the reviews and love the channel. Your display behind you needs more airtime. Maybe I will just have more videos where I just have the display in the background and I sort of cut to it as I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put these characters. Like, I know I don't have Big Convoy displayed out yet. It was my original thought to display Big Convoy as well as Magmatron and Leo Convoy. I just didn't get the, like, you can see there, my Beast Wars shelf is already very, very packed. So I think maybe in the reviews or in different videos in the future, we could probably see more of what's behind me and how I'm changing it over time. But yeah, thank you for your comment. Let's go with AMK Mini Bumblebee. Let's do him next. We'll go back to the display. Not the display, the review table. So on the front, we have AMK Mini Wave 3 Bumblebee. On the right, an assembly bit of how he's assembled. On the back, we got the legals. On the left, we got Bumblebee in various poses. On the top, the G1 Transformers logo, which I find really interesting because a lot of these characters are from IDW, actually. Like, we've got Orion Pax from IDW and Bumblebee from IDW. And for some reason, like, they've just included the G1 Transformers logo instead of the one that they used for IDW. Unless it was the same logo, it might be. I'm not entirely sure. Let's open him up. We have the Bumblebee card, 10 centimeters Bumblebee. Very cool, IDW Bumblebee. I love that it is definitely not a sticker, and you should definitely not try and peel that off because it will ruin the card. Alright. Let's see if I can assemble him without looking at the instructions. I know it's a fool's errand, but I will feel better about myself after that Ratchet if I can assemble Bumblebee without the instructions. Ooh, a nice consistent yellow, it seems, across the board. Alright, what have I done to myself? Why do I set myself these challenges? Man, this is not gonna end well for me if I wanted to assemble this without... I'm assuming these are his legs. Ooh, his knees are actually this wheel. That's sick. I love that. And then this thing here, his foot, I'm assuming, is on a hinge. Okay, very nice. Alright, so that's clearly the front of his chest. This is also his chest. Oh no, they are... Which one's front and which one's back? I'm assuming the one with the more detail is his front. Okay, maybe I do need the instructions. Ugh! Gosh! Why do I do this to myself? Alright. Let's have a look. And I've knocked something off the desk. I'll have to go get that. Alright, so the doors go onto the back piece. The back piece goes onto the back of this, and then the torso, the head. Alright, let me go get that other piece. Okay. Alright, we'll leave the legs for the time being. We will get the doors and put the doors on his back. Very cool. And then we'll just slot that on there. Awesome. And then this piece goes underneath. Like that. Okay, then his head goes on. The IDW comics are... Everything I see about them makes me want to read them. But I think I was a little bit, not outside of the Transformers fandom, but it was one of those periods in the brand where I just didn't quite know whether I wanted to jump all in. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm assuming these black dots go on the front. Let's have a look at the instructions. Okay, so for the arms, we get these pieces. I'm assuming. This is actually a much more in-depth bit of construction than any other AMK minifigure I've ever seen. Okay, note to self, put on the shoulders, the shoulder armor after the shoulders themselves. Okay, put on the panel on the outside of the arm, which I'm assuming is the door. Maybe it goes on the other way. There we go. Yes. Yes. Does anyone else just do that random Megatron Beast Wars? Yes. I find myself doing it way too often. There we go. Now for the other, where's the other shoulder? There it is. Learning from our mistakes, we will plug that in first. And then plug in this shoulder armor. And then the arm. And then we can start on the legs. Alright, so the legs seem to be pretty simple. You literally just plug this piece onto the front of his foot there, and then the back piece becomes his heel. Cool. Have I got that right? No, I've got them the wrong way around. Okay. hips. And then, I'm gonna have to pull these things down again. Oh dear. Give me 2 seconds. All right. Let's pop his legs on. Oh no. Come on. There we go. I got scared for a moment that we were going to have a similar Ratchet situation. Okay. Put his hip on, and then thank you so much everyone for tuning in, being patient with me while I assemble a AMK mini model kit very terribly. So like the rest, there he goes. Look at him, he's adorable. He might actually be chug scale, I think. His shoulders are on like 2 ball joints, so he can sort of rotate them in, and then those shoulder pieces then can come out as well, which I really like. His wings on his back are rotatable, so you can have him happy, or you can have him sad. Misery Bumblebee. Alright, let's put on some of his hands. So he also has hands with little holes in them for a weapon that he doesn't seem to come with. I don't think so anyway. There's Bumblebee. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these hands. I'm just going to have to put them all together. Let's get him into a pose, guys. Alright, so it seems as though I'm probably not going to go through articulation for every single one of these guys, because at the end of the day, they all are very similar. They all work on ball joints across the board, and it is just sort of the range. Like Ironhide here has a lot more range because he's got that clearance above his chest piece, whereas Bumblebee, he doesn't really want to crunch down that much. But he is definitely... Oh, sorry, I bumped the camera there. He is definitely a good-looking figure. All right. Let's have a look at the comments. I never really liked that design of Bumblebee, but that made him look pretty good. I do agree. I think that it's one of those designs that's not really for everybody. Let's see if I can change it so that you're seeing me when I talk to you. Yay! It's one of those designs that's not really for everybody, but it's also become somewhat of an iconic look for Bumblebee, I think. Especially when you have a look at his evergreen design. They've really gone down... Like, they reused the same look, I think, for Earthspark as they did for Cyberworld. It was essentially the same toy at the end of the day. And that's because the evergreen design was essentially the same. So it's not my favorite design for Bumblebee. It's very Bayverse inspired, like a lot of Transformers these days. But I do hope that they return to a normal looking Bumblebee. When I say normal, a bit more G1 inspired would be nice for the future. I know that certainly for the Skybound comics in particular, they use the G1 styles, but they obviously add those... The art adds a bit to it that isn't quite conveyed in other media. Like, you get that grittiness in the first 24 issues of the Skybound comics, which I can absolutely recommend. They're some of the best Transformers content I've ever seen. Content and your pictures are sup pimpin'. I love your content and your pictures are crazy. It's cool to see your post on Transformers. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Yeah, they use him on all of the kids marketing, like the oversized one-step changes and whatnot. Yeah, absolutely what I mean. They have like, I would bet money that they have a literal Bible in the Hasbro offices that, hey, these are what the characters look like. This is what they're supposed to look like. If you're making something that's not, that's different or the same from the connected lore, he needs to look like this. I think they learned a lot from the aligned continuity, and how people weren't really happy with how different those characters looked. So they're probably a bit more strict on their brand guidelines now, if I had to guess. But yeah, let's move on to another IDW figure. Let's do the regular Orion Pax. Back to the review stand. All right, every time I look down now, I'm seeing this Ratchet, and it's just miserable. So what I might do is I might try and put his leg on as best as I can, and then just sort of hobble him up in the background. Hold on. Let's see what we can do with Ratchet. Okay, and then we will just put his leg under him, and then he can just, I guess, go here. And as long as I don't bump him, he should be okay. Alright, so, Orion Pax, Wave 3, 12 centimeters, 2 centimeters taller than Bumblebee, supposedly. On the right side, we get the same sort of skeletal overview of how he comes together. The back, we have legals. And on the left, we have some photos of Orion Pax. On the top, the G1 logo once more. Pop him open. Ooh, that was a nice pop. And oh no, I've damaged the card! Oh no. Hey, he's got the Matrix on the front there. That's pretty cool though. I am so sad I wrecked that. Oh, and this is the transparent version. Wait. This doesn't say that... I wonder whether the other box that I have is the regular version then. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Let's take him out. I don't know whether this is supposed to be the transparent version or the other one's supposed to be the transparent version. We will find out together. No, he's not the transparent version. He's just the regular version. How disappointing. Okay, so I'm assuming then what's happened is that let me angle down this camera a little bit so you can see a bit more what's going on. I'm assuming what's happened then is that the card has just been swapped or changed from one character to the other. That makes sense, right? Okay, let's see if we can assemble Orion Pax without too much trouble. Alright, so that's for sure on the front, right? Pop that in. Let's get his hip skirts in. Baby Optimus Prime. I'm assuming these are his monstrous shoulders. There we go. Are they the same front to back? They are. Great news. What a heroic shape. So I believe in IDW, Orion Pax was some sort of cop before he got the chance to become a Prime. I have read some of the IDW comics. I've read Autocracy and Monstrosity, mostly because they were done in different artwork from Livia Ramondelli, which I did like when I was in high school. I know he's not an artist that's for everybody, but I really liked him back then. I'm sorry. Forgive me, please. Ooh, these drop-down hips are very interesting. They don't really like to stay put. But once you get them up, they're pretty good. Alright, there we go. Look at him go. We're doing it. Okay. I'm assuming these also aren't keyed. His arms. Yes, they just go on. Wonderful. There's the other one. Very cool. He has... Oh! That's awesome. His backpack is like the repair drone from his trailer. Does that go up or down? I'm assuming it goes up, because then he wouldn't be able to bend if he went down. Let me have a look at the box. Yes, it goes up. There we go. His head can pop on quite easily. And then his feet. Come on, there we go. Have I put his feet on the wrong way? No, they just go in one particular direction. All right. Okie dokie. Unless I've got them on the wrong side, which I very well might have. Let me see if I can pop those off and then have a look. They do look like they are. Oh, I'm not sure actually. Yes, so they are indeed on the wrong side. Wonderful. How good am I? I know exactly what I'm doing. You can tell that I review Transformers. People on TikTok love making fun of how different Transformers Prime Starscream looks to War for Cybertron, even though they're technically the same Starscream. Yes! And both of them are iconic, I think. Those two versions of Starscream are like the pettiest versions of Starscream I've ever seen. Seen or read or seen anywhere. So it is interesting that Orion Pax only comes with fists. And that is for his, I guess, little ion blaster here. That's it. That is if it wants to even go in his hand. Oh gosh, that's a tight fit. Alright, maybe let's try the other one. He can be left-handed. Yes, he is left-handed. Cool. That is a heroic looking bot, if I've ever seen one. I really like this one. Actually, I wasn't expecting to really like Orion Pax, but like as a little cop bot, he's pretty cool. He also has some really good articulation in his chest. His head is pretty normal, nicely painted in white. His arms go up just above 90 degrees, and his shoulders are the usual ball joint stuff. He does also have these hip skirts that are, I guess, his vehicle mode wheels, which I really like. And then a bit of creakage on the drop down hips, but otherwise, pretty good. Let's see if we can get him into a pose. The anti-aircraft gun repair drone thing is a nice addition. It is. I agree. I love that. I love that they just gave him that as a backpack. It's great when you see visual references to a character's growth when they're going through that journey. Okay, his head isn't as articulated as I would have liked, but let's get him into a bit of a defensive position. So, the question is, we've got Orion Pax, are we going to get a D16 at any point? Let's put him next to Bumblebee. Let's actually move everyone a little bit down. Oh, this is going to be an issue with Ratchet. Okay, he seems to be alright. Cool. Cool. Prime Starscream is easily the most competent version of the character, maybe with the exception of Armada Starscream, what with the sacrifice and everything. I do think that, oh, that's a really good thought, actually. The most competent versions of Starscream is, like, because usually Starscream is depicted as like a bumbling buffoon. He's not very smart. And when he does come up with a smart idea, it's usually very quickly undone by, I guess, either Megatron or the Autobots, or he just finds himself in a really bad situation. He's sort of the comic relief character of the Decepticons. But competent versions of, I think a good Starscream is a competent Starscream. It makes him a bit more terrifying when he's actually able to do the things he wants. I'm not, like, I hate to, keep tooting this horn, but if you've ever read the Skybound comics, Starscream is an absolute menace in that series. He shows up and he is killing people left and right. Like, he wakes up, and not to spoil anything, but there's a pretty big death that happens early on in the comics as soon as Starscream wakes up, and then he just gets worse from there until he gets, I guess, a little bit better in issue 24. But yeah, he's between Transformers Prime and Armada Starscream. I'm a huge Armada fan. I do think that Armada Starscream was an incredible warrior. He did a lot to try and impress Megatron, but Transformers Prime Starscream was also the comic relief. Armada Starscream didn't really have the comic relief in him. That was more Cyclonus and Demolisher. So when you look at things like that, I think that mentally Armada Starscream was probably more competent, but I know that Transformers Prime Starscream was definitely more of a schemer. Like, he had more grand plans overall for his growth. He came up with the idea for all of those protoform clones and whatnot. Much like the animated Starscream, there was sort of a trend there. A lot of similar characterizations across the board. Morning, Nate. Morning, Orion Prime 127. Hi, Nate. Enjoying the channel. Love from Kaya. Thanks, Kaya. Orion Prime. I keep noticing your shelf to the side of your table keeps changing the display. Yes, it does change. I try to change it every video. Sometimes it doesn't change every video because either I forget, or sometimes, like, I try to keep it, like, relevant to the characters that I'm reviewing. So, it'll change every video. Sometimes I'll even have little sneak peeks in there of what I'm reviewing next. Just on the offside. What's your opinion on Studio Series 86 Astro Train and Shockwave? That's a great question. I am really, I hate to say it, like, I'm a person that really likes to have the figures in hand before I make judgment. but I was chatting about it before, and I think what disappoints me about the Studio Series Astro Train is that not only have they gone off model, right? Like they've done really well when it comes to, I think, the train and the shuttle. They look really good. But when it comes to the bot mode, it's arguably the most important piece of the entire set, right? And it just looks vaguely like the character. Like he doesn't have the massive arms with the overbearing like gauntlet things. He doesn't have the Decepticon logo on his forearm. He's very blocky, he's very gappy. And the sad thing is, we're probably not going to get another Studio Series Astro Train for at least 5 years or so. I know it took forever to get like this one. So I think that's what people are really upset about, is because for the most part, we only get one chance at a Studio Series figure. I know we are getting a new Studio Series Starscream in the anniversary capsule, and we did get one previously. Those are two different sets. But I don't think they will invest the money in redoing Astro Train again just because people didn't like it. I think they're going to keep him the way it is. If it was up to me, I would probably make him a commander, give him the commander budget, and do him quite properly. That way you can get, you know, the articulation as well as the engineering experience, but also the look in general. Like, we wouldn't have gotten Studio Series, not Omega Supreme, Ultra Magnus if he wasn't in Commander class scale. I think that just, it wouldn't have been good if it was in leader class. We had the Siege and Earthrise Ultra Magnus, and there's just something that wasn't cutting it, or wasn't G1 enough for that to be a Studio Series figure. But yeah, Shockwave I'm a little less offended by. I do appreciate that they've smoothed him out. I do appreciate that they've given him new shoulders and new knees. But I wish they had, and a new head. And the gun, that's cool. But I do wish they had upscaled him. And it wouldn't have been hard to do. They could have done the same that they did with, where is he? Studio Series Springer. In that you just make his legs, his new legs, a little bit longer, or his thighs a little bit longer, or even his like hips, they can be a little bit longer or a little bit chubbier, to give him that extra height to compete with the very much new and taller Studio Series Soundwave and Studio Series Megatron. So that's the only sort of qualm I have with Shockwave. I think he's great. He looks awesome. He looks very G1, and I don't think you could have gotten better in terms of like the transformation either. They could have made him the space gun. I think so. They could have given him bigger leg pieces or a different transformation that turned him into the space gun. But they probably didn't want to risk it. And I think this is probably as good as we could have gotten given all the regulations around in the US. It is really unfortunate, but I do wish he was a lot bigger. But yeah, I also love that Armada Stellos says, I also love that Armada Starscream's reason for wanting him to overthrow Megatron was disillusionment in the Decepticons' cause rather than betrayal for betrayal's sake, personal glory, lust for power. Yes, he wasn't like a selfish guy. He wanted recognition, and as a character, he wanted, you know, to be better. And that's why he eventually joins the Autobots for as long as that lasts. And he meets Alexis, and he feels bad, and he ends up sacrificing himself. He was a noble character, which I really liked. It was new for Starscream back then, because all he was like a scheming, mustache-twirling villain, you know, that would always get his just desserts. But yeah, if you turn him upside down, it's the gun mode. Yeah, for Shockwave, absolutely. It is the gun mode, and that's something that the Siege figure had as well. But as like at the same time, it's sort of crap. The handle was a little bit small, so I think they could have done a lot more to make him better in that sense. What's your recording schedule? Do you have like a backlog of figures to review one after another? Yes. I have currently maybe 3 or 4 reviews that I've started recording and then had to move on because either another figure arrives, a newer figure arrives, and I've had to record that first, or I've like recorded it in like we'll see where this one goes. If this video does good, then I'll be able to do this video. Like I've got a Leo Prime, not Leo Prime, Leo Convoy review that's just sitting in my files, ready to go. So I try to do one every 5 days. Sometimes it takes me a bit longer. I know it definitely did for Scorponok, who's sort of sitting up above at the moment. That was definitely a hard video to record because of A, his size, but also B, the issue that I had with the legs, with the hips and the knee ratchets. Those kept collapsing on me, and almost every pose I put him in collapsed. So it was a real pain, but I try to keep them out as soon as I can, and I'm really sorry that sometimes it's a bit inconsistent. But let's move on and do Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime. This one I'm really excited about. Let's go back to the review station and pop this guy open. Alright, we got the card, Yolopark, QR code, Dark of the Moon, Optimus Prime, 12 centimeters. He's the same size as Orion Pax. Very cool. So it looks like the smaller figures in this line go 10 centimeters and the bigger figures go 12 centimeters, which I do appreciate. There's a little bit of variance in there. Let's crack him open and try to get him assembled as quick as we can. Oh no, that sounds like a lot of pieces. Oh no, what was I thinking? Thinking I could do the assembly without... No, I know Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime. I know where things need to go. There's a foot. Right, that's on the outside, so that's on the wrong... Oh no, that's the right side. Snap that bad boy in there. Come on, there we go. That is for the other foot. That is the hips. This is the other foot, so we can put that on. Big ball joint there. Let's pop this side skirt on. Very cool. Where's the other one? There it is. We can do this, right guys? We don't need instructions. Who needs instructions? Not us. We're just smart like that. We're built different. We know what we're doing. We're Transformers fans. Hips go into this middle piece, this crotch piece. Nice, satisfying snap. Hopefully not a breakage snap. Ooh, this is nice. His hip wheels, his thigh wheels are one piece and they're on a ball joint. So they do move out of the way. I like that. That's excellent. Ooh, a little bit of engineering genius going on here. All right, let's plug him into his torso. I'm assuming they're gonna do like a Revenge of the Fallen or Transformers, the first Transformers movie, Optimus Prime as well, and they'll just replace this torso probably. Plug in his arms. Wow, there we go. This guy seems very proportionate as well. I'm very surprised. A lot of companies get the proportions wrong on Bay vs Optimus Prime. And he comes with a couple of hands as well. Let's put him to the side for a sec. So he comes with 2-finger pointing hand. He comes with grabby hand, which has a peg on it. Is that supposed to go into something? I'm assuming that goes into some sort of gun at some point. Ooh, that's really curious. I want to know where that goes. And then he's got the 2 fists for the 2 swords. That makes sense. All right. Let's put his head on. And then give him the 2-finger pointing hand. And these are on ball joints. They're not on pegs. that. So he has this shoulder piece that actually moves out of the way as you move up the entire shoulder. Let's get him pointing off into the distance with a sword in his hand, like he likes to have. I do wish that the swords had a bit more paint on them. They are just grey plastic. That is unfortunate. But otherwise, he's got a good amount of paint on him already, so I'm not too fussed by it. I'm not too annoyed. And his head, his sculpt overall is quite excellent. You see all that sculpted detail in there. Again, guys, if you do want to get these, feel free to go to the link in the description below and put in the code display case where you'll get 5% off your purchase on the Yolopark store. These are actually quite excellent. Ooh, I'm loving this. He doesn't have any ab articulation though, unfortunately. So he's sort of locked into that standing up sort of posture, unfortunately, but I'm sure you'll be able to get him into a range of different poses. Let's see if we can get a bit more dynamic. Bayverse Optimus Prime always has these really wide stances, so I think we'll go for something like that. And then maybe we'll replace this hand with... Oh no, that grabbing hand is for the other side. Alright, we'll just do another fist. Justin says it's for Megatron's shotgun, I think. Oh, that would be awesome. Oh, I'm going to open up Megatron next. We need to be doing this. Alright. Cool. That's a pose for Optimus Prime. Put him behind Ironhide. I love that. Okay. Very happy with him. All right. Let's have another look at the comments. What's your opinion on the prices going up? Shockwave being £35 instead of the normal 25. I'm not sure if I've actually noticed a really big change here in Australia, particularly. For context, Australian prices are liters are 100 Australian dollars. Voyages are about 50 Australian dollars, sometimes 60, and deluxes are about 40 Australian dollars. So they haven't gone up too much, I don't think, unless this new wave has gone up in price. It is really unfortunate that the prices have gone up for other countries in the world as well. Did I say pounds? I meant euro. That's euro, right? I'm not entirely certain whether that's euro or pounds, but it is unfortunate that the price is going up, especially when we're getting figures with QC issues and maybe not quite meeting the expectations that other people would like to have. I would like them to, if they're raising the prices, we would like to see the figures getting better, not worse. And I think people, at the end of the day, vote with their wallets. Like, if they don't like something, they probably won't buy it. But at the same time, we don't really have much other option. People say don't buy something, but a lot of the time, like, if you don't like the look of Studio Series Grimlock when he released, you didn't buy it, then, like, eventually, you know, you're without a Grimlock. The other Dinobots have released, and Grimlock is now $300. Luckily, they recently re-released him, but I think that it's a bit hard to argue, you know, when we only get one version of these characters every 10 years or so. It becomes hard to rationalize not getting them when you are a collector. Let's have a look. I see it in my local shops like Smith's Toy Superstore. Where have you been seeing Voyages for £25 or euro? Deluxe price, right. Do you play Helldivers? I really have been wanting to make a custom Transformer that looks like Pelican 1. That would be really cool. I feel like a Pelican 1 Transformer would be a Decepticon. I uh I am confident actually that it would be a Decepticon, but it would have a really cool backstory. I do play Helldivers. I've got it on my PlayStation as well as on my PC, but I'm really upset that it's not cross progression because I bought the PC version and then it just got, I lost all of my stuff, so I have to play it on PlayStation now, even though I paid for it. So, yeah, no, a Pelican 1 Transformer would be awesome. 100% a Decepticon. I would assume. Um, Very cool. I'm sure Yolopark is great, but I'm more of a Blockies guy myself. At least their Dark of the Moon Optimus comes with the jetpack, cannon, swords, and axe. Yeah, I think I have seen that Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime in stores. I haven't got him. He does look awesome, but I will say that these guys are at a significantly lesser price point. So I do get that they come with less and they are, a bit different in that regard, but I really do hope to get maybe in touch with Blockies one day, so we can start reviewing those figures, because those, although the assembly looks a lot more complicated, they do look like very fun figures overall. I'm really excited to see them in person. Nah, that's pounds. Thank you so much. I see it's like shaped like an E, the pound sign, and sometimes I look at it and I'm like, is that euro? I should educate myself more. Thank you for that. Thank God the price increases haven't seemed to hit the UK yet. That's good. Good to hear. It's always good when the prices stay where they are. Great stream. Thank you. Are you in Melbourne or Sydney? I am in good old Melbourne. I am a Melburnian. I think old Studio Series releases sometimes have some QC issues that the first releases didn't have. For example, my new 86 Grimlock had some bad ratchets. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I actually experienced that just recently with the re-release of Earthrise Scorponok. He had some terrible ratchets in his hips and knees, and he kept collapsing on me and crushing my fingers in the middle of the review, which was very painful. So I do agree that there's something to that it might be mold degradation. Every time they redo a figure or re-release it, the mold gets worse. That does make sense, especially for little pieces that are as integral as ratchets. I think that makes sense. But yeah, I really wish that wasn't the case. The PTSD from Cyberstan is going to be crazy. I still have PTSD from Malevelon Creek. Let me tell you. That was a crazy time to play Helldivers 2. Absolutely. Okay, so let's move on and do, now that I've gotten Dark of the Moon Optimus there, let's rock in with Dark of the Moon Megatron. Let's head back to the review station. This one's got tougher tape to break. There we go. Alright, we got the card in there. Dark of the Moon Megatron, 12 centimeters, same height as Optimus Prime. I will toss that card away. Well, I won't toss it away, but I'll put it somewhere. I'm assuming he will be as easy to put together as Optimus Prime. These pieces feel chunky. Ooh, he's a big boy, Megatron. Oh, you feel the weight. Alright. Let's have a... Oh, this is a massive chest piece. He is missing some paint. You see that right off the bat. But it is fine. These are quite cheap figures. Let's have a look. So that's a foot, that's a leg, this is his crotch. Alright, let's plug his crotch in. Woo! Come on, get in. Is that supposed to go there? Potentially? Oh man, I might need the instructions for this guy. Okay, so that's his head. What's this? Okay. Let's see if I can plug in his crotch and we can get started. plug in. Don't tell me that there's just this. There's not an extra piece that goes in there, right? Hold on. Let me grab the instructions for a sec. Okay, let's have a look together. Warranty, don't need that, probably. Yeah, so you just, that hip piece is supposed to just go in, but is not wanting to. Ow! Oh, I pinched myself! Oh god, that hurt. Oh, okay. Oh, I wasn't expecting an injury. That's okay. Alright. Now let's... Oh man. This one's significantly more complex. Okay, so that loop piece is supposed to go plug on for his shoulder, I'm assuming. But where? Okay, let's start off with his legs so we narrow down the likelihood of us getting it wrong. Or me getting it wrong. It's not you guys, it's just me. And other hip, there we go. Ooh, he's very chunky. Are there any additional bits that need to go on the legs? No. Okay, so the wheels go on the inside. Like that. Same as the other side. Wow, I really pinched myself good. That hurts still. Dang. Orion Prime. Alright, I'll be going now. See you later. See you later. Thank you for joining. Alright. Let's put these arms together. Ah, okay, so there's... Right. It's like extra pieces. Just like Bumblebee. Okay, maybe it's the other one. Yeah, that seems about right. This is his smaller arm. That just goes up, nice and easy. Or does it go this way? Oh no. Maybe I need to have a look at the box. Nope, so that definitely goes on the back. Right, cool. So that then plugs into there. I'm sure everyone will be telling me if I get it wrong. Right? You guys will tell me. We're friendly like that. That goes on the top there. I'm just not sure where this thing goes. It's his shotgun holder. Which way does it go though? This way? Yes. Cool. Alright. We're discovering things today, tomorrow, and forever. Snap that guy's arm in. Pop the head on. I would love to, just putting this out here now, I would love to give this guy a proper paint job. Ooh, yes. Oh, the articulation is quite good. He's got nicely bendable arms. everything's on a ball joint. It's just the paint that he's lacking in. Ooh, and neck articulation, he has absolutely none. He can sort of look left to right. Alright, let's pop his shotgun. Yes, it is for Prime's hand. I love that. Okay, so... And then you can plug it into Megatron's hand as well. Sorry, everyone, I'm sure this is a terrible view. Here we go. Cool, let's get him into a cool pose. Maybe like that scene where he's running at Sentinel Prime. Ooh, a Sentinel Prime AMK Mini would be absolutely awesome, I think. Let's move Ratchet back. Alright, let's see if I can get him to balance. Well, there goes Ratchet. Sorry, everyone. Okay. I am a fan of that pose. Let's see if we can put him behind Bumblebee here. Now I will see if I can retrieve Ratchet. And his rogue leg. Gosh. Okay, let's have a look. My boyfriend bought Studio Series A6 Grimlock on Amazon a couple of weeks ago, and the Ratchet on the right shoulder went out the window, either immediately or not long after getting him. Thank God it still holds up. Oh no, that sucks. Especially because Grimlock was a really sought after figure for a very long time. See, it's things like that like, you just need the QC to be good. You know? When you get a figure and it's either broken or something's wrong, it ruins the entire experience. And like, if the figure itself is out of stock everywhere, it's not like you can just return it to get another one. You have to get, you have to go through the whole process and then see if you can get another one down the line, which isn't always possible. So it really sucks that people have to go through that sort of thing after spending so much, and especially after the prices start going up for these characters. Okay, so he seems to be okay there. Cool. Ratchet is in a terrible pose, and I apologize. Alright. You absolutely should get into blockies. The larger model kits are fantastic. Oh, I agree. But the smaller blind box figures are dangerously addictive. See, that's another reason why I don't think that I would be able to get them, because I wouldn't be able to stop. I'd have this entire room would be gone. It would just be blockies. Especially when they're blind boxes like that. You have to get the whole set, and that just becomes an issue. I really, really want to get the expensive Transformers 1 Optimus Prime with the swirly axe effect. That looks really good, and I really like how it has the lines like it does in the movie. That's something that I'm a really big fan of, and I give big props to Blockies for being able to do. Almost bedtime, mate. Yeah, I know. It's here in Australia, it's 10:44 p.m. Whoa, you're streaming right now? This is so cool. It's my birthday, by the way. Dino Lover, welcome. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for coming and watching my stream on your birthday. Cool figures and hi. Hi, and yeah, I agree they're cool figures. Speaking of cool figures, let's open up the holographic, or like, I guess the clear Orion Pax from IDW Comics. Let's head back to the review stand. Alright. Now, the other Orion Pax that we have here actually came with the wrong card. He had the clear Orion Pax card with him when he actually wasn't a clear Orion Pax. Let's have a look. Again, Orion Pax transparent version. So I think this one must actually be the transparent version. I'm assuming so anyway. Let's get him open and see whether that's true or not. I'm hoping it is. Oh no, so it is just, it's not a transparent version as much as it is just a metallic version. That's so, oh, and it comes with a matrix. Look at that, it comes with a golden matrix. That's amazing. I'm trying to get it in focus for you guys. That's really cool. I wish it was die cast. It is just plastic, but that would have been really cool if it was die cast. Alright, let's get this guy built. Yeah, he's like a nice metallic. We'll compare the two in just a second. So it looks like all of the white pieces on this guy, on the other Orion Pax, are now like a gunmetal grey on this one, which is a very cool change. I do appreciate that they are doing both like a comic, like a G1 inspired Orion Pax with the white instead of the silver, as well as a darker one. That is a cool thing that Yolopark are doing. Again, guys, if you want to pick these guys up, if you want to pick up any of the guys in this wave, check out the Yolopark link in the description of this video. It'll take you to the affiliate page for me, and feel free to use the code DisplayCase with no space in the middle for 5% off your order. You can get all of these guys for a little bit less, which is always nice. All right, let's plug his legs in, not his feet just yet. I really like this metallic version. I think I like it more than the original, which is interesting. Not usually something I would say, but this metallic blue in particular is really winning me over. Okay, so that is the right leg foot click, and the left leg foot click, and then the shoulders. What's cool is that on this one, the shoulders have a metallic blue strip down the side of them, whereas the other one does not. Nice little exclusive edition. Which side am I doing this on? This side. Cool. And almost done. There we go. Now the paint on this guy does lead to the joints being a little bit stiffer, I'm finding. But I think it is worth it because of how good he looks. Let's get his head on. And oh, the silver on his head, on his faceplate looks awesome. Wow. Now I do wonder whether he has hands available. He does. He comes with different hands that allow him to hold the matrix. Is that one of them, or is that, oh no, it's back here. I can see, guys. I'm not blind. Trust me. So we can plug one side in there. Oh, it's a nice snap as well. I've got the matrix upside down. Oh dear. There we go. Nice snap in one side. Nice snap in the other side. Come on. Or not? Okay. Maybe not. Ah, there we go. Yes. Yes. Channeling my inner David K. I will move his blaster off to the side. I think I'm going to have him displayed in the middle. That's awesome. I love that. So you can see if I grab the other Orion Pax here for a minute, the white has been replaced by this darker gunmetal color. He comes with the Matrix, and everything else is slightly darker and a bit more metallicized. I absolutely adore that. We will have him, maybe we can get him into a kneeling pose. There we go. Oh, my PC has gone to sleep. There we go. Cool. It would be awesome if they released packs which had the character but a build for each mode, from robot to each alt modes for display. Oh, I would love that if we had like little vehicle modes for each of these guys. I know they're currently coming out with the vehicle modes separately, but I would absolutely love to see them come in the same pack, even if it is for a little bit more money. It would be awesome. Okay, last but not least, we're looking at the transparent version of the Dark of the Moon Optimus Prime. Let's get him open as well. So I think my views on these AMK, the Wave 3 of the AMK Minis overall, is that they're actually really good. I'm actually growing to love them more and more the more I actually play around with them, the more that I build them. I really like that they're now in separate packaging so that it makes it easier to get the secrets. Whoa, that's a lot of clear plastic. I really hope this guy holds up to the test of time, because ooh, actually the swords are transparent, like orange. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, all right, sorry, I'm just admiring everything here. Let's get the shoulders on and the arms. I'm also not quite sure what this is meant to represent. Let's move Orion Pax back a little bit, because I don't... Oh, I've got his arms the wrong way around. This is the trouble with clear plastic, I think. You just can't see what you're doing. There we go, that's better. I don't think there's any time in the Bayverse movies where you see Optimus Prime as any sort of hologram. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But this is definitely a very a different vibe, to be sure. So that's not the right one, it's this one. That goes in there, like that. And then the other hip and leg goes in there, like that. Here we go. Wheel, and then the feet. This one goes on this side. Come on, there we go. And the other on the other side. Lovely. Okay, now we just pop on his head. His head is just the same as the regular head, which Oh, he's got some metallic-y eye paint. I don't think the regular one has that. That is cool. Oh, and a piece on the back of his legs has come off. Let's see if we can remedy that as well. Let's get the right hand on first. And that just... sticks on there. There we go. Alright, let's get him in with a transparent orange sword. And then have him pointing into the middle distance, like Optimus Primes like to do. He's saying, I am Optimus Prime. These are awesome. I think these are gonna remain on my desk for potentially weeks to come. Okay. And that is a wrap on the AMK Mini Wave 3 assortment from Yolopark. I think that, for the most part, these figures are quite nice. You can see that, unfortunately, they are sort of in the same scale. You have Bumblebee there that is the same size as, like, Ironhide, and that's very clearly not accurate. But I don't think these types of figures are meant to be going for accurate. They're going for stylization and the same scale across the board, so then you can just have equal play value amongst all of them. And I do like that. I think this is something that can continue. I think I'm gonna need to get Wave 2 now. Maybe I can get them from Yolopark, but I would love to do more of these building streams. Does anyone else feel the same way? I'm not sure. Let's have a look at the comments. You're my favorite Transformers reviewer, by the way. That is high praise. Thank you. Like, I can't thank you enough. Whenever someone says that, I'm like, no, I'm not. There is no way I am your favorite Transformers reviewer. There are so many out there that are so good. I really appreciate whenever someone says that. It's the nicest thing anyone can say, really. It makes me melt inside. Hello, Intel 1234. Aye, Third Legend, welcome. Third Legend, you've been here from the beginning. How you going? Are these sizes compatible with Studio Series 86? That's a really good question. Let me show you, actually. Who should I grab? Let's grab a Studio Series Optimus Prime, a Commander class, and I'll show you how big they are. I think that you need to be selective when you say, are they in scale with the Studio Series? Let's go back to the review station, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. So, for example, some of these figures would definitely not scale well with Studio Series at all. Here we've got my personal exclusive Optimus Prime. And you can see he's not even in frame. Like, he's so tall. Compared to all these other bots, he is quite tall. But what might be in scale with him would be this Bumblebee, potentially. So if I just stand him up properly, this is part of the reason why I want Wave 2 of the AMK Minis, because I think that for a lot of items, they are more accurate toony versions of these characters. So I would love to get a Cliff Jumper, for example, from Wave 2, because I'm such a fan of the Skybound comics, and he gets a lot of play in that series, I would love to have Cliff Jumper where Bumblebee is, and this Optimus Prime, or even the Optimus Prime that's actually down there, which is my custom Skybound Optimus Prime with the Killing Arm set. I would rather have him with an AMK Mini Wave 2 Cliff Jumper than with the Studio Series Cliff Jumper, because then that Studio Series Cliff Jumper can go into the display, and this one with the AMK Mini can just be here. But to answer your question, no, unfortunately, they're not really in scale with the Studio Series, but you can make it work in some particular instances. And I mean very particular. So, sorry to burst that bubble. W, soon to be number 1. Oh, I hope so. That would be nice. Imagine. The main brand I have been into at the moment is Dr. Wu. I've run out of space. Dr. Wu is are they the like micro transformers? They are, aren't they? They're like the really tiny ones, like smaller than Legend scale. I have seen a few of those. They look very advanced and very, very cool. Fun to transform as well. I would love to like have one day just to fiddle around with, have on my desk. I think that would be awesome. Ironhide and Ratchet looks very solid. Ironhide is definitely solid. I have to do a bit of modding on Ratchet because his leg won't fit into that ball socket, but I'm sure when that leg goes in, he will be very solid, as solid as Ironhide at least. It is just very unfortunate that there's that QC issue on Ratchet. Watching this was fun. Would love to see another one of these. Me too. If you would like to see it, another one, feel free to, I don't know, comment on my videos, and I'll probably do another one where I get another wave of AMKs, or maybe something a bit more along the lines of assembly-driven Transformers like the Blockies. If I do Blockies, they'll be in lives, and I'll build them while I'm chatting to everyone here, and I think that'd be just a really fun thing to do. Mwahaha, this gem popped up on my feed right after opening the app and checking to see you respond to my comment, King. I am here responding to your comment. Thank you so much for commenting, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I see mini-bots would work perfectly with Studio Series 86. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. So, I would absolutely love to see more mini-bots in this scale. Yolopark do this really good thing, and they know they do it, where they introduce figures that work well in scale with other figure lines. So we have things like Yolopark AMK Pro Mirage is really well scaled to go with the DLX size 3.0 figures. So hopefully they pick up on that, in that the AMK mini series might be able to scale with the mainline and the Studio series, which I think would be great. I see. Yeah, I really wish they would consider scale to the TV show comics when designing the mainline Transformers. I agree. I think it is a hard thing to hit the nail on the head on scale. Hasbro have been doing a really good job of it lately. For the most part, I'm not particularly happy with the new Shockwave release in that regard. I think he could be a bit bigger, but overall, they have been pretty good. I can't imagine them making minibots much smaller without sacrificing on things like articulation and transformation. Are they all the same height? These AMK minis? No. So they range from 10 centimeters to 12 centimeters. And the smaller ones like Bumblebee will be 10 centimeters. I think Ratchet and Ironhide are also 10 centimeters. But Optimus Primes, Megatrons, the Orion Pax, they're all 12 centimeters. They're a bit bigger, which is I really like. I think they shouldn't be all really the same size. They should be a little bit bigger than each other. Dr. Wu made chug scale cassettes. What? I'm Googling this right now. Hold on. Dr. Wu cassettes. I might need that. Like, if there's chug scale cassettes from Dr. Wu, I might absolutely require them. Oh, wow. Look at all of them. Guys, search up Dr. Wu cassettes. There's a photo of someone with like a whole bunch of them, and some of those look absolutely incredible. Oh, I think I need some. You've gotten me onto this train now. Look what's happened. Ah, well. Wait, you're Aussie, right? Because if you are, what's your opinion on basically the only franchise store Transformers plugs? JB, Just, and EB Games. Just and in games. Not being reliable for stock, not JB not having entire webs. I actually know someone that works in the merchandising area of JB Hi-Fi, and for those who don't know, JB Hi-Fi is like it's like a hi-fi store here in Australia. You get like your games there, you get some like appliances, but you can also buy figures, and they have this big like section of action figures, and they do a lot of Transformers. But lately, sometimes they've been a little bit inconsistent with which figures they get. I haven't experienced it as much as other people. Every time I go in and there's new figures, they're usually the right amount. They do buy them in certain different waves, so they'll buy them in either assortment packs or like single boxes. Sometimes that happens, like when let me just adjust my camera a little bit. When we got Retro Sea Spray, for example, a little bit of stock came into the country and they sold out immediately, but then they immediately overcorrected and they got a lot of stock all at once. So now there's just Sea Spray everywhere at these stores, which is really unfortunate, but good for Sea Spray fans. Yolopark's kits are super cool. The only thing about them that bothers me is the long pauses between kits releasing. I agree. Still waiting for Rise of the Beast, Bumblebee update, Rise of the Beast, Wheeljack, Stratosphere, and the Terracons. I agree. I think it would be very easy for them to do a Rise of the Beasts, Bumblebee, and AMK Pro. Especially because they already have those molds. They just give him the die cast and the extra paint, I guess. That would be, I think, a really worthwhile addition for the line. But yeah, they do take quite a while. I was at ACGHK and in Hong Kong in last July, and there are still figures that I have photos of that were prototypes back then that haven't seen the light of day since. They've got a Bayverse Ironhide and a Bayverse Blackout that look awesome. They look amazing. I will be first in line for those things. But they haven't announced them yet. I'm very excited for them to do so. It just takes them a little bit of time. But of course, doing what they do takes time, so waiting is fair. Exactly. The release of Blast Off was a disaster. I think Blast Off is a lot easier to find now in Australia. Like for me anyway, I've seen him around quite a bit. I've seen him at Kmart. I've seen him at JB Hi-Fi and DB Games now. So he's getting a little bit easier to find, I think. Since Blocky's dipped into making Transformers 1 Megatron as Prime, it would be amazing to see both Blockies and Yolopark make all the Primes from that movie. Yes! Would love to have those designs on display. I agree. I think I need that Megatron as Prime Blockies. If I'm going to get one, it'll be that guy, because that is such a cool design and I'm a really big fan of it. I wish we saw more of the Primes in Transformers 1 in general. We don't see a lot of them at all, so seeing them in Blocky's kits would be something to behold. That whole set would be absolutely amazing to have on a shelf. I agree. Autocorrect slime my message out, bro. All good. I didn't mean to write JB Hi-Fi and EB Games because JB Hi-Fi has decent stock and they don't have things. Blast Off only went on pre-order and vanished. Yes. All good. Will you be picking up 86 Astro Train? I will be picking him up to review. I will hold off judgment or final judgment until after I have him in hand. But I think I will be disappointed, unfortunately. It's just one of those times where you look at it and you go, what were they thinking? Like the train mode looks incredible, but and I think the shuttle mode might look better than the siege one as well as the dramatic capture set one that I have here. But the robot mode absolutely suffers for those advancements, and I think that it would have been better if they had focused on the robot mode first, because I think a lot of us will deal with the train mode and the shuttle mode at the end of the day. It's something that like most people will have him in bot mode, but given that they've focused so much on the other two, maybe that'll shift. Maybe it'll be better in train mode on the display. I know, like, for me, I'm preferring the train mode, especially over the DCS version. So I might end up displaying him like that if I don't like the bot mode. He'll end up going in the display regardless, I think. Really regretting not picking up the dramatic capture triple takeover set a few months ago when I had the chance. I know. Don't beat yourself up over it. I think eventually we'll get better versions of each of those characters just because of Astro Train. Like, I've got him. Hold on, I'll pick him up. He is a good figure, but there are things on him. Like, it is just the color change. So if you're a really big fan of Siege Astro Train, then yeah, try and track him down, as well as Blitzwing, who is there, and Starscream, who is here before the new 86 version comes out. But yeah, we'll be getting new versions of these characters eventually, so don't stress too much about it, I think. EB Games is okay, but I'm a little bit more expensive, but it's a little bit more expensive than JB Hi-Fi, and the humble red lobster in my wallet looks at me with disdain whenever I think about Transformers. Oh, I know what you mean. I know how you feel, and I know how your wallet feels. I am so sorry. It is a hard thing. I was talking with my boyfriend last night, and we agreed it would do Astro Train's robot mode a load of service if someone made some upgrade pieces that beef up the arms, even if they can't fit into alt mode. I fully agree. I think that's what DNA Design are going to do. I think someone's going to do it sooner rather than later, because that thing is a gappy mess from the looks of it. And I really hope someone fixes it. It would be really nice. I just hope Studio Series Blitzwing won't get treated as poorly as Astro Train did. I hope so as well. I think Blitzwing has less of a chance to be a new mold because the last mold only came out in Legacy, I believe. So he's a newer mold, and they're less likely to spend the money in redoing him when he's already, like, he's fine. He's cartoon accurate enough as long as they go with the dramatic capture version instead of the Legacy version, which has the brighter colors. I think they'll be fine. I'm building up my display slowly. I have one shelf each for combiners, primes, and then the rest of my figures. I low-key need another IKEA display shelf because I plan to have Armada and TF1 shelves too. Very cool. Yes, I love Armada, and the more people have Armada shelves, the better, I think. It's one of my favorite series. So yeah, absolutely get another IKEA shelf. I will endorse that. What brand shelves do you use? I use IKEA shelves. They are called the Vizio shelves. But yes. Oh, wow, face reveal. Good looking guy. Anyways, what's up? Thank you. I appreciate that. What's up? Nothing. We just went through and reviewed all of the AMK Mini Wave 3s. Once this stream is over, I'm sure it'll be available to rewatch. I hope Leo Kaiser, I don't know, gets a new update with the box leak, and can we see some progress? Yeah, I hope so as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to get him. I don't have a particularly strong attachment to the source material, and I haven't seen that figure before as well. I missed out on the pre-order as well, just by a little bit. So if I see one for cheap, I think I will pick it up and review it, but I wouldn't count on it on my side. Just a random question. What camera do you use? Kick serious ass. It is just an iPhone. It is literally just my iPhone. It's an iPhone 16 Plus, I believe. But yeah, just with a bit of tuning, with a bit of nice lighting, you can get that camera to do some seriously nice things. We heard a little while ago that Blitzwing will be a retool at best, which I can understand, but good lord, they need to touch it up a little. I think Blitzwing is okay, especially in the dramatic capture version. Is not as bad as the Legacy version. The joints are a lot better, and the paint especially. The colors just changes the game on Blitzwing, I think. So, like, they could make him a little bit better by making that nozzle a little bit less conspicuous in his tank and jet mode. But I think, like, at the end of the day, he did have that in the cartoon. So I'm not entirely frustrated by it as much as people would like me to be, I think. Hasbro is not hiding Studio Series 84 at this point. Yes, I agree. Blitzwing would be, yo, remember us when you become famous. I will. I'll remember all of you. I don't think I'm becoming famous anytime soon, but thank you. I wish they came out with more Gamer Edition, War for Cybertron, and Fall of Cybertron, and Studio Series Reactivate figures to go with the Lonely Bee. I agree. I would love Fall of Cybertron figures. Fall of Cybertron is one of my favorite games of all time when it comes to Transformers, right behind the PS2 Transformers Armada game. Yes, I would love a Fall of Cybertron, Optimus Prime, and Megatron to start off with. Yes, we do have a lot of characters in the where are we? The War for Cybertron era, but a lot of those designs changed in Fall of Cybertron. We got some new characters like who did we get that was new in Fall of Cybertron? Grimlock, of course, the Dinobots, and Bruticus. He's the reason Bruticus is my favorite combiner at the end of the day, that game. So I would love to see a combining Bruticus and more of those Dinobots, as well as Perceptor, Jazz. Jazz is on my list. That would be awesome from Fall and War for Cybertron. I can't wait. Remember us 14 when you hit 1 billion subs. I will. Whether I hit 1 billion subs is another question. I'm not sure if I'm gonna live that long. But yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of Fall of Cybertron, Bruticus, have you seen the third-party Rising Force Combaticons? I have. I really want them. If I get them, I will absolutely review them. I think it will be something where they will become very hard to get because they're very good-looking bots. But I've heard that Rising Force had some serious QC issues with their last release, so I'm hoping that gets improved upon. Maybe I will just go out on a limb and get them when I can. They're in scale with Studio Series. That's what more do you want? Like the amazing Fall of Cybertron Combaticons that are in scale with modern like mainline figures. That would be amazing. I'm worried they won't change the nose cone poking out. Oh, we're talking about Blitzwing, since it's show accurate. But what really bothers me about it is that it's an animation error. The nose cone was supposed to poke out of the back. Interesting. I didn't know that, actually. I know that he appears with it in the show and in the movie. He has that nose cone, but I didn't know it was supposed to poke out of the back. That's a real bit of interesting information for me. I got to research that a bit more. Your videos make Transformers figs way more premium and reviews are very solid. Pretty sure you'll become famous. Oh, thank you. I hope so. Like, I just want to make good videos at the end of the day. I want to make the videos that I would have loved to watch when I was a kid. I remember growing up, I used to watch like Sean Long when Transformers Revenge of the Fallen came out, and Shartimus Prime especially. So I'm making that inner child of myself a bit happy by doing all these videos. So I really appreciate the love. When they designed his animation model, the toy they used as a reference had a turret facing forward, the back of the tank. So the nose cone appeared to be at the front. See, that makes it. A lot of those designs were based on the old toys that were mistransformed. They had no idea back then, I guess. So it does make sense. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get a reanimated version of the G1 series that will be put through an actual animation studio. We'll get like proper like animation like the movie. That would be awesome. They could fix all the animation errors and make it like an actual good thing to watch. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to watch, but it's definitely showing its age at this point. It's still a good series though. I do enjoy the writing quite a bit. I got to go, but I'm leaving on a hot take. Not a big fan of Gamer Edition War for Cybertron Ironhide. Me too, actually. I'm not a huge fan of it. I just don't like his legs and his arm size proportion. The backpack is buns. See ya, bro. You're my fave. Oh, thank you so much. Hopefully if you watch this back, you'll see this. But yeah, I agree. War for Cybertron Ironhide, it is a hot take that he's not perfect. I do agree that his arms are too long and his feet like sort of weirdly angle backwards. I was going to review him, but unfortunately a hard drive that I was using got corrupted and the files got deleted. So unfortunately they'll just never make the light of day. It was going to be a duo review with him and Skywarp. So yeah, it is what it is, unfortunately. Armada Optimus is so hard to find nowadays. My only option is finding him off Japanese sites. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I think I need a new Armada Optimus as well, because I painted mine yellow as well. I painted all the gold yellow, and then I put him under a I put him in a display case, and the top of one of his shoulders melted. So he is still transformable. It's just that top panel bit. It's just a little bit mangled, and I need to get a new one, unfortunately. It just sucks. The proportions are certainly a bit odd, but how fun the transformation is makes it up for me. Yeah, I agree. The transformation on Ironhide is very fun. It's just how he looks in bot mode. I think he could be a little bit better. Has 86 Soundwave been released in other countries? The release in Korea was delayed since last year, so we're still waiting. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, I believe he's definitely been introduced. He's been released in Australia a lot more. I got mine very early, and now I'm starting to see him at mainline stores. But yeah, hopefully Korea starts getting him soon, and you're able to get your hands on him. That would be awesome. Super tempted to buy all 3 War for Cybertron Seekers at some point. Are they worth buying? Yeah, I think yes and no. Look, give me a second. I'm gonna grab my Starscream and my Thundercracker, and I'm gonna show you. So I actually custom painted my Starscream, and he is actually looking a lot better like this than he did when he was stock, because that gummy yellow plastic on the chest and the lack of paint just, I don't know, it just didn't really do it for me. But when you repaint it in gold, if you're ever wanting to repaint a figure, it's definitely worth it for these two. So if you're going to get all 3 of them, get them and then do that. I haven't gotten to the other 2 yet, but I really want to. It's going to be something that's just going to be on my list. But yeah, in Shutterglass he came out, in Singapore he came out in December. That's when I got him. But sold out pretty quick. Next batch is coming this month, according to the Transformers retailers. Yeah, hopefully you get him. I got him from Singapore. I got him shipped over from Singapore. That's where he showed up first. So, yeah, hopefully everyone who wants him can get him soon, because he's an excellent figure, absolutely. Once I'm getting the Seekers, I'm absolutely touching up the paint. Yeah, that's awesome. Good. I love hearing when people get figures and decide to repaint them. It's such a great thing to do. Do you repaint your figures yourself? I do. I got my War for Cybertron Sideswipe painted more metallic. Yeah, you can. It's actually really easy. You can just go out and grab some Tamiya acrylic paints, and the metallic ones are excellent. They go on the plastic really well, especially the gunmetal. The gunmetal is really good for the Studio Series Gamer Edition figures. Like, as well as I'll give you another recommendation: the Vallejo metallic paints. They're also excellent, and they go on the figures quite well, especially over a gloss coat. It's really good. I would highly recommend you to maybe watch some videos on how to repaint Transformers. It'll change your collection when you start doing it. But that being said, when they're all customized, they're a lot harder to sell. It's just up to you whether you want to go down that path. I just managed to pick up 86 Soundwave during the stream, oddly enough. Congratulations! Found him on a UK toy store since his price on Amazon randomly shot up to £100 on Amazon. A little under double. Ooh, that is annoying. 100. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad you found one though. Love it. Yeah. No, very happy you got Soundwave. On a side note, I bought a DCS Starscream for $28. Yes. And the Seekers mold is still competitive. I agree. It is very, very good. When we say War for Cybertron, do we mean the games or the trilogy? I agree on both fronts. I think they're very competitive molds. A store in Singapore accidentally stocked their shelves with the next wave. Yes, they did. It was Toys R Us in Singapore, and they quickly took them down. But I wish the rest of the stores in Singapore put them up as well, because then I might have been able to get some a bit early. Would have been nice. Oh well. Anyway, I think I'll end the stream here, but thank you so much everyone for watching. I really appreciate the love, and hopefully we'll be able to get to do more of these streams in the future with assembly model kits of Transformers, whether that be blockies or more Yolopark. Again, if you really like the Yolopark figures, feel free to check out the link in the description below. You can get Yolopark figures 5% off with the code DisplayCase, and it also helps me out a bit as well. So thank you again, and we'll catch up soon. Thanks again, everyone.